Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Ian Van Zan, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS Radio, baby.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy for BKS1 Radio.
What's going on? This is Lamont Rooker, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon. You're watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all. Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence.
Every time I see Leon, I promise you, I just feel a shift in my shondo. That Leon is just anointed to just... I'm blessed to look at Leon every week. Thank you, Norm. Oh, I got something to tell y'all about. Remind me, can somebody remind me to talk about Thank You, Norm, once I bring everybody in. Hey, y'all, how you doing? Happy Hour Day. It's Tuesday, the best day of the week. Why? Because I get to spend time with you guys on the Making Me Matter radio show. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Holla at your girl. Let me know how your weekend was. Let me know how your week has been starting off. Tag a friend, text a friend, tell a friend, and let them know that the Making Me Matter radio show is on the air. Hey, Tracy Cox, I see you. Norm, Tracy said hi. Norm said hey. And so I know we're going to have a lot to talk about, and you guys know I'm definitely going to talk about something that you already know what I'm going to talk about before I even say it, right? So we'll get to that part in a second, but I just wanted to check and see where you guys are. Helen Bailey, God bless you. I see you on here. How you doing? Happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining the Making Me Matter radio show. So what has your week been like? Tracy, how was your week? Let me know how your day was. Let me know how your weekend was. Big shout out to my godson, Marley. My godson, a.k.a. not yours, he went ahead and completed his certification in his DJ class here at BKS1 Radio. I'm so proud of him. So proud of him. What's good? Comedian Ron Snipes. Gucci. Oh, Reverend Bianca said, hey, cousin, I'm not doing this today. Wait a minute. Wait. He said, good evening, Patty, because y'all, he calls me Patty because, one, whenever I start overdoing stuff, he calls me Patty LaBelle. I'll take that. It's Big L. Larry Capital Gaines, good to see you, L. How are you? Good evening, Deborah Dates. How you doing? Y'all, so 2 things real quick. My cousin Shakia McCutcheon just jumped on. How are you, Kia? Y'all, okay, I'm just going to be honest with you. Holla at your girl. Let me know what city you're in. Let me know what state you're in. And let me know how your weekend was. So, yeah, so my big baby boy got his certificate and passed his DJ class. And I'm so proud of him. I'm not going to lie. I'm proud of all of my godchildren. They make me a proud godmother, and I'm just so grateful. I absolutely love them to the core of me. Hey, Lisha, let me tell y'all something about this Lisha, right? Alicia Dixon got in my inbox at 8:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and says it's 8:52 because my show usually starts around 8:30, 8:35. Well, 8:35 the latest when I'm flying in here. I try not to be late. And if I am, the ones who watch the show get in my inbox and check me. Norm? Y'all should have just seen Norm's face. They come in my inbox and check me like you late. And then when I sent her a video explaining, she sends me, Norm, look at this. She sends me another one saying 9:03. I love the fact that y'all are that engaged, and Alicia is like family. So big shout out to her. Robert Black, good to see you on here. Listen, Excuse me, that Alicia's going to check me. Hey, Crystal. Y'all, let me tell you something. Crystal, how was your day today? So there's this girl at my job, and I want to shout her out. Her name is Alex, and her grandmother, a.k.a. Abuela, makes these beautiful beaded necklaces. And so she made me one for Christmas. Like these beads and crystals and stuff. It was real pretty. It's very simple. Y'all know I like extra, but when I saw the simple, I was like, I love it. That means I can tone down. Look at God. So what ended up happening was she had a necklace on that had an A, and I loved it. And y'all can't see it, but she made me a necklace, and it's a little T, and the T is clear with flowers on the inside. Beebs, can you see it? Look at that. Oh, my bad. You like it? Isn't that pretty? Thank you. Yeah, so big shout out to Abuela. Okay, y'all. So I got a couple of people in the studio with me tonight. And I have a couple of people in here. I got Minister Cassandra Foster in here. The Reverend Bianca D. Allen. I got my girl over here. She's about to be my girl. Her name is Alex, a.k.a. my Puddin'. Hey, Puddin'. And we got Pastor Jason Hendrickson.
Hey. What's up, everybody? Before we go any further, look at Rev.
Yes.
That's my daughter.
Get out. She's gorgeous.
Reverend Bianca.
She's gorgeous. They favor.
Is that not you?
That is, and I would have blonde hair. My scalp would
to a degree. To a degree. Oh, right.
I'm like, this lady looks like
You're
my
right.
daughter.
I didn't even think about that, Nora.
My God.
Because of the screen. That blonde, but first of all, her blonde, she usually stays platinum blonde.
Really?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And when she stays blonde, when I tell you that the blonde on her typically works, it typically works. Where's the she got brown hair today, but she's gonna be blonde probably. She'll probably be blonde when, like, next week? First week in June. She's going to be blonde the first week of June. Look at God. So when I tell y'all, real quick, hey, my sissy, look, there it is. Your daughter.
Wow. That's
and
crazy.
The right reverend look amazing. Blonde is everything.
Listen to me. They gonna say, and he knew her. The devil is a liar. Don't you start no mess up here, y'all.
Hey, sissy, I see you. My sister Shantae Robinson is on, and that makes me smile. Hey, Auntie Linda. Hey, Kels. Good to see you, Auntie Linda. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, y'all, can I make an announcement? And I knew this was going to happen. So a lot of people are apparently using Ozempic to lose weight. Ozempic is really geared for people that have diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
I just had this conversation with my mother because my mother's a diabetic. And I said to her, Ma, people got to stop using Ozempic just to lose weight when it's tailored to fight this diabetes, and it's specifically for that. And so they're going to have this weight loss, but something's going to happen behind this. And, you know, everyone's losing weight looking amazing, but you got to be careful because it's not for that. It's for this disease. So me, a.k.a. Tiffany Renee Barker, guess what I found on the news?
What'd you find out, Tiff?
I found out that people that take Ozempic for the sake of weight loss and they're not diabetic
become diabetic
and are possibly going to end up with stomach paralysis.
Wow.
Sir?
No bueno.
But they going to die early. Oh, sorry, Norm. Because
Rev said that's okay.
You said they're looking. You could, but why try to look good and kill off these organs in your body that can stomach paralysis? So now not only do you get stomach paralysis, you'll now end up a diabetic if you weren't a diabetic.
If you're obese stomach paralysis.
The views and opinions of our guest tonight are not that of Making Me Matter radio show.
Exactly. So do you guys know? Hey, Drew Gundy. Here go Sniper. Hey, Boonster. Sniper says, who's single in the studio? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, Tracy Cox said that. Oprah Winfrey takes that. Exactly. But here's what my auntie Linda said. The sad part is that doctors are pushing the drug too. That's a problem.
Yeah,
because if the doctors are pushing this drug, but see, my daddy always said since I was like 10 years old, how the pharmaceutical company is nothing but a money-making company.
There's no money in healing people.
Oh, my goodness, sir. You're starting early.
It's only money in keeping you sustained and sick. That's where the money is. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I think people need to reconsider.
But have you seen My 600-Pound Life?
I'm scared to watch that.
I watched it.
My 600-Pound Life? Y'all watch that?
There was a young lady. First of all, if you're single, it's because you want to be single. Because everybody got somebody. In the bed.
Wait a minute.
You
they
in the
fried
spirit,
chicken
Rev,
in the bed?
That's exactly what I was talking
Who
about.
does how?
This one young lady has, she got to be over 600 pounds. And she got a little itty bitty fella. And she has like a hot plate or something like that she keeps in the bed. And she fries the chicken in the bed. In the bed.
And she's still alive?
She's still alive. And she got a man. See?
Where's this button?
All y'all single ladies need to try frying chicken in the bed.
I'm being sick because I don't even fry my chicken in the bed. That's why I'm single.
Could be, Rev. Could be.
Hey, Auntie Risa. Listen, I think that you're 600 pounds. You shouldn't be able to fry nothing. When he laugh like that, I get nervous. It is because you're on a show called My 600, what is it? My 600 Pounds?
Mm-hmm.
Life. And the goal is not to remain 600 plus pounds. The goal is to accept the weight that you're at and then do what? Try to lose it. Try to come off of it. So that you could live. Because how many people on that show that finally started trying to lose weight? I'm just going by commercials because I can't watch it. It just does something to my shondo shifts. Well, I try to go to the gym, and it has not worked in my favor. And I think because I know, hey, good to see you. The devil is a whole lie. I do not need no Ozempic. I'm not doing no Ozempic. Because, one, I don't want anything. I just feel like something is going to always lead to something else, and I just don't want those problems.
But we also have to talk about what obesity leads to as well.
Okay, well, let's define obesity. And turn it on. Is your mic on? She said I didn't come here for all this.
Obesity is
Did you turn it on? Okay. Obesity is a nature killer?
It's a major killer,
I thought you said
especially in the African American, because it leads to other diseases. You get diabetes from being obese unless you have type 1 diabetes.
She was going to say you get diabetes from Ozempic. Did you hear
No,
that?
I said from being obese. So obesity causes heart issues. It causes joint arthritis, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all of those things. So the reality is obesity is just as much as a killer as a paralyzed stomach from Ozempic.
I don't even know what to say about that. but it makes sense. So what are they doing for this 600-pound woman that fries chicken in the bed? Are they no one's taking the frying? Look at your face. I know. I just found out too. Nobody's taking the frying pan from her?
Somebody has to give it to her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
her
true. Is it the man?
Her boyfriend is definitely
I'm
an enabler.
She doesn't walk.
Yeah.
Look, somebody, Tasha Folkwise said, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all know frying chicken in the bed is sexy. I don't want no...
Now, this wasn't on the show.
I don't want to smell like chicken, Tasha.
This wasn't on the show. But watching how she acts, if he's moving a little slow, bringing the chicken fryer to the bed.
Don't tell me she gets
I think
angry.
she hits him.
Is she in an abusive relationship?
I think so. I think she beats him.
No!
We got to pray for that young man.
Oh, my God. Wait, are you kidding me?
Yes, I am.
But you know what? She's 600 pounds and she got a boo. Yeah. Well, amen. Comedian Ron Snipes said 600 pounds with a man, and I know women that's 185 pounds with no man. Don't start. We're not doing this. Hype is here. Hey, Hype, how are you? Kiss my girl for me. Tell my tree I said hey. Let me tell. Okay, so I want to talk about that. My cousin said she fried a mess out of that chicken in bed. That's what she said. She said she fried a mess. And then Kel says, I saw the bed fryer episode. I mean, flowering and everything in the bed. That is disgusting.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. But the chicken look good, though. I ain't going to hold you. She can cook.
Oh, Lord. That is absolutely disgusting. That's so
Shonda
gross.
was definitely shifted.
Well, it's going to be shifting for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got something to tell y'all. Y'all ready for this? You ready?
Ready.
Diddy has been dropped by more than 18 brands.
I'm not shocked.
He's already rich.
Yeah.
You can't drop me with a billion.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's going to be more lawsuits that are going to come forth. Well, I want to know what each of y'all thought when y'all saw the video.
You can drop me from your brand, but you cannot drop me from residual income.
Exactly. All that when they're dropping him, that just
I
means he
never
won't
thought
be the
about
face of the
Just
company.
won't be the face.
That's it.
They're going to pay him for his investments, like
Trust
they've
me,
been doing.
his contracts are ironclad.
He's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just won't be dancing across y'all screen.
That's it.
No more Diddy bops?
No.
Yeah,
No more parties.
Because Diddy has bopped enough. And now they're trying to say that the whole situation, even with Kim Porter dying, originally, I didn't know this. They said originally they ruled her death a homicide and said that she was poisoned. Then they went back and said it was, I think, pneumonia or something like that. So with all of this going on, even with how the industry, and you know firsthand, how the industry hides this kind of behavior. What do you think is what do you think is the reason, besides money, that, because now the bodyguard, is it the bodyguard?
Yep.
The former bodyguard got a whole lot to say now. But you know what? Was he talking when Kim Porter was alive?
Yeah.
He was talking because Cassie said he just jumped in the middle of many of their fights, but nobody believed him because he's not the one with the power and the authority.
So what do you think is going to happen now?
To Diddy?
To the bodyguard.
Oh.
Like, can anything, not in a bad way, not talking about harmful, can something come about where, because a lot of this has passed in years.
Statute of limitation.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So even L.A., the DA's office came out and said there's nothing we can do.
Well, in business, perception is everything. So when you lose the perception of someone that's of integrity and class, it just closes doors for you in the court of public opinion. But that contract doesn't change. There's no clause in his contracts that says if you get caught in a domestic violence situation that you get, separated from the company. That doesn't happen. It's just good marketing for all businesses to say that they're separating from him. But his brand is more powerful than his mistake. And that's what people don't understand, because trust me, in another year or two, it'll be like this never happened.
I believe that. What do you think about his apology?
I think it was bad timing, and I don't think it was sincere. I've learned that when you get in a crisis, sometimes no response is the best response.
I agree with that.
And you have to work on changing your behavior from an intellectual standpoint. And any man that hits a woman, I think, is a sucker. I think he should get his behind whipped. I think that he should, be dealt with outside of the court system. I think, her brothers and her
the
uncles
first thing I
need
had
to
said
handle
was,
that.
does Cassie have brothers? Does she have cousins? Does she? I said, does she know anybody
But see,
in the street?
the tricky thing with that, and this probably can open up some dialogue, is when you have a young lady that's in an abusive relationship and you are a family member, a father, a brother, uncle, sometimes intervening doesn't make sense. Because if I come out and you're getting beat up by this guy and I get it in with him in the street, especially us being black men, and I'm outside in an altercation, I'm putting my freedom on the line, my life on the line, just for you to go back to that guy.
Oh,
so
just for you to go back to that guy.
Yeah. So, sometimes, it's like a catch-22. Like, I know I want to do something, but does it make sense if you're going to just keep going back? And so I think that that's something that we have to talk about, because society has been sending mixed message about domestic violence since we were children. Because if you guys remember, when we were kids, there was a television show called The Muppet Show.
I remember that.
And do you remember Miss Piggy?
Yeah.
How she always used to beat up her boyfriend?
Yeah.
And it was funny.
Everybody
laughed.
I never thought about that.
And subconsciously, we were being taught that it's okay for a woman, even though she was a Muppet, to put hands on a male counterpart. And it was glorified. It was like, oh, Miss Piggy is a karate expert, and she's going to beat, and you see her beating Kermit up, and he's all afraid of her. And subconsciously, that was sending a message that it's okay to put hands on people. So we've been dealing with this since we were kids. And, we're taught as men, even if a girl hits you, you're not supposed to hit her back. You got to walk away. And sometimes that's easier said than done. Can
I be honest and make a confession? Pastor Danielle Brown, good to see you on here, Pastor Danielle. Good to see James Long. What's good? Minister Wade Roberts, I see you. Hey, Lexi. Can I be honest with you? And maybe I shouldn't say this. Do you want to just hit me and rebuke me now? Just go ahead, get it over with.
Prevail.
Okay. I told my godsons that if a female ever puts their hands on you, I honestly said, and y'all might disagree, you have a right to hit her back. Because honestly, these girls now, it's a different age, a different time, where these girls step to these young boys and they try to punk them and they pound on them. I saw a video, was it in the bleachers, where this young girl was pounding on this young boy, and he was just doing like this and trying to cover his face, and everybody's clowning him. Nobody's intervening. But if he knocked her out one good time, it would have, even though she's smacking him around, hitting him and doing all of this, if he would have knocked her out one good time, everybody would have been like, why'd you do that? But nobody stopped to say she's wrong.
Right.
So when you mention that with the Muppets, I never thought about that. I used to laugh because Miss Piggy was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Not because she beat up Kermit, though. But she was one of my favorite characters. And I think even from a spiritual component, I think we have allowed abuse to take place, thinking that we have to take it from the sense of grace and mercy. Oh, Minister Cassandra, I see you shaking your head. Go ahead. What you got to say?
I wasn't going to talk. No, but I think that's important because a lot of times we think as Christians we're supposed to do a lot of things a certain way, but we forget that it's still okay to have boundaries. And one of the boundaries is somebody should not put their hands on you.
Period.
So I don't know about telling a child to, like, you know.
That's why I said I know y'all probably
but
wouldn't
I do
agree with me.
believe that a boy should, if she's swinging on him, grab her hand and stop her from hitting him.
And-
that kind
and
of
if
thing
she
I could
keeps
agree with.
doing it,
like, stop her from hitting him.
and if she keeps doing it, and nobody is stopping her, and everybody is around, and that's why these kids, and not just and check me, and I want you to say something, because I want you to say something, and I want you to say something too, Auntie, because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to be funny, but we take little girls for granted. These little girls are like, you want your cornbread? You know what I'm saying? These little girls are not little girls with the ruffle socks and with the ruffles and the frillies and the bows. These little girls are out there doing things and provoking and are becoming abusive, just like what they might see at home and so forth. But at the end of the day, there has to be, and so I get what you're saying. You said I wouldn't teach that to a child. And you're right. I shouldn't. But there's a part of me that I know if my son is telling me that a girl is beating up on him and he tried not to hit her and nobody's getting involved in that and he has to defend himself, you better go ahead and defend yourself.
But I think the scenario is different. Like, we don't know what happened in that hotel room. We
don't.
just see him running and kicking someone that's not assaulting him on the tape.
And it's trying to run.
We don't know what happened in that room. So I think for us to assume anything past what the ocular proof is wrong. You know, all we know is that we see him doing something that no man should ever do. And, you know, it's unfortunate. But again, that's the catch-22 for me, even as a father having daughters, you know. Because I'm from the era, we don't do a lot of talking. If you put your hands on my daughter,
it's a whole different
like,
rap. It's a rap.
I don't have no talking. But if she keeps going back, you know, is that worth my freedom?
At the end of the day, you can't control what somebody else decides to do. And there's been relationships that are not even abusive where people have been emotionally, not physically abused, but there's emotional abuse, there's manipulation and mental abuse, and the person doesn't leave because there's this element of, oh, they're going to change. That's not who I fell in love with. I just keep going back to this person being this Prince Charming or this princess, and all I can remember and can go back to is how loving the relationship was, the fun and all of this. So I don't know what changed, but I believe that they can change because this is not who they were.
But that's why, you know, I'm all for doing away with a lot of stuff that we grew up with that wasn't really productive. But there are some traditions, especially when there is a father in the picture. If you're a young lady, you should not date a young man without introducing him to your father. Because at the end of the day, if it goes wrong, I'm expected to come clean up your mess. And you're the one that's enamored with his muscle and his waves and his car. I don't care nothing about that. Me having a conversation with another alpha young man in the making, I can pick up things that you're not even thinking of.
You don't care about none of that.
No, I'm not impressed by that because I got a nice car. You shouldn't be impressed by that either because you grew up with me. You got money. You got car. That shouldn't mean nothing.
It doesn't mean nothing.
But at the end of the day, a lot of young ladies circumvent that process. They don't go and introduce their father, don't get their father's approval. That's one of the things from the old school, I think, that would prevent a lot of this stuff. But we have to understand, and I know it's a lot of ladies in here, so I'm prepared for the smoke. I'm prepared for the heat. But the introduction
This one's face.
The introduction of the feminist movement has destroyed the black family, has destroyed the fabric of the family.
Now, wait a minute.
Yes.
Now, wait a minute.
Let me tell you why I say that. Because if you look at the creation of anything, it doesn't matter what it is, it normally comes with a manual. And in that manual, you find the intent of the creator. So when it comes to the family, the Word of God is our manual. So if you have a system that's set up to break up the family, because especially in our community, you have low economical people that are on the lower end of making a certain amount of money, and you have all these services that are provided. And in our community, what was the woman told? That if you have a husband, you can't get food stamps, you can't get on welfare. So you had all these black women lying about the husband wasn't there, or he actually had to leave the house in order for them to get these services, instead of the system opening up opportunities for him to get a job and earn the money to take care of his family. And when that happened, you get on child support. If you're not paying child support, you lose your license. It's the whole thing that is systematically set up to destroy us as a people. And that was because women, with this feminist movement, again, I have no problem with you guys wanting to be equal in earning your money. If you have the experience and the education, I think you should be paid. But this thought pattern of you don't need a man, and that is the agenda that is being pushed in the form of you being independent. And that is a lie from the pit of hell, because you can't tell me you don't need what God gave you. Because when God created everything, in the Garden of Eden, he looked at everything and said it was good, except when it came to man, because man was alone. So how are you going to tell me that you don't need a man, and that's the only thing that God looked at and said that's not good, and gave me a companion?
I'm waiting.
I just wanted to make sense.
Make sense.
I just wanted to make sense.
And it was good.
It was good. After he gave, after he gave Adam Eve.
After he gave Adam Eve.
Yeah.
Reverend?
That sounds really nice, except there was rape and domestic violence before there was a feminist movement. Feminist movement did not do anything for black women. It was a white woman's movement, and it promoted white women's success in the workforce. I will say this. We cannot blame a woman movement for a broken home. We have to contend with our own thought processes and patterns that suggested that I could walk away from my home for some services.
That's good.
I can walk away and leave my family for some services, because Jewish women are the highest recipients of social services. And they have a husband and they have a family. So I believe if we're going to blame the feminist movement, then we also have to blame men for their inability to rise above a system that said you weren't needed, and who came into agreement with that. But I also want to say this. Domestic violence is a very, very broad context and content, and broad context, and requires content, because everybody just can't leave. Everybody don't have any place to go. Everybody doesn't have the resources to leave. And as a child of a mother who survived domestic violence multiple times. Now, my mother was a fighter, so she pulled the butcher knife. I will kill you. But till she got to that point, I remember my mother throwing a television at my father in the hallway, and he almost flew out the window. It is not always the simple thing of just leaving. It is not always just do this and that will happen. Most of us as humans, our nature craves relationship. It craves love. It craves hope of relationship. And so some don't walk away for the hope of relationship, the hope that you'll change, the idea that you can change. And so I think when we talk about domestic violence, because it doesn't have a classification when it comes to socioeconomics, rich people beat their wives and rich women beat their husbands, poor people beat their wives, poor women beat their husbands. The reality is humanity and how we value one another. Because if I value you, whether I disagree with you, I'll never put my hands on you.
Right.
I can disagree with you. We can have differences of opinion.
Right.
I don't have to resort to violence. So what we have to talk about is the way we have been we have been programmed to accept violence as a solution.
Right.
And so across the board, some women had to work, and some women worked multiple jobs to care for their families. Some men, because I don't want to make it seem like only women care for their family. There are men who care for their families, and there are men who have been abused, and they have it worse because they can't even talk about their abuse because it by society standards says you're not a man if you're being abused, which to me is just as bad. When it comes to power and money, it's hard to get out of those situations. It's hard because most of the time when you get to those situations, you have given up a lot of things to get there.
So when you say that people have given up a lot of things to get there, those things, is it safe to say that I'm giving up, and check me, Beeps, if I'm wrong, I'm giving up possibly integrity?
You're giving up yourself because here's the thing. No matter how we look at it, Diddy's not coming into Cassie's world. Cassie is in Diddy's world.
You're absolutely right.
So in that world, when he says we're going, where he says we're shopping, and so in that, if I decide you're traveling 6 months, you lose relationships behind that.
Yeah.
You ultimately become a part of everything in your life is their world, which means you don't have a world of your own. Your friends are their friends, and that's general relationship. But in power and money influence, those people have way more resources. And truth be told, everybody likes to be taken care of. If you can make life easier for me and simpler for me, I want to be a part of that world. If I don't have to get up and I can go lay on the French Riviera with my $10,000 bathing suit, my legs crossed, sign me up. Sign me up for the Christian Jubilee. I'm going to go.
But at what cost, though?
But you don't realize that cost till you're already in it, because they don't start out dragging you across the floor.
Right.
You're already you're already used to a way of life by then. I'm sure it didn't start out that way. I'm sure it was probably year 3 or 4, and now I've gotten accustomed to this. I've really had to blackball my family because that world requires a lot of NDAs, confidentiality, a lot of legalities go into being a part of people of that magnitude's world. That's why when it all comes falling out, we hear so many stories of all the people.
Right.
Epstein, the guy who owned Fox, Bill Cosby. It all falls out the same way because for years, one, you're not going to believe them.
Nobody believed. I don't think anybody really believed Cassie until that video came out.
No, I believed it when I saw the lawsuit.
Yes.
Well, right. Okay, so the lawsuit. It was the lawsuit. But there's been chatter about it for a long time. But when that lawsuit came out and you saw the documents, that's when it was like, oh, shoot, this really did happen.
But there were a lot of people.
Absolutely.
What's her name? Aubrey O'Day talked about
yeah.
it.
Oh, she's ready. She's ready.
There have
to go.
been plenty of artists who have talked about how he's done things. The reality is we are humans. Not my circus, not my monkeys. I'm not a part of that world. Ultimately, I only see it from a distance. I'm not a part of that world. So my sympathy, my empathy level is really kind of skewed.
Well, me being a part of that industry and have been on the road with a lot of these artists and different things like that, I think that it's really one of the most dangerous things when you become successful in the industry is having yes men around you, because everyone is connecting with you because of a possibility of what they can gain from you for themselves, and they lose a certain degree of integrity where I'm not going to tell you that it's cool that you're doing that. I'm not going to agree when you punching females in the face and all that. Like, nah, that's not cool. But if you are a yes man and somebody that is as strong with his personality as Puff, and he just comes in the room, I don't know if anybody's ever been in the room with him, but if you get in the room with him, it's a force that comes in the room. It's certain people. Like, I've been in the room with him. I've been in the room with Minister Farrakhan, and guys that are of that magnitude, when they come in the room, if you're not strong, you're going to get caught up in the hype. And let God forbid if they have a sharp vernacular and can talk. I almost joined. I'm telling you, I went to see Farrakhan, and I'm apostolic to the bone. But by the time Farrakhan got finished preaching about Jesus, and especially after they told me that he don't preach Jesus, that's a lie. He just don't acknowledge Jesus as the Messiah. He preaches that Jesus is a mere prophet. But if he ever gives his heart to Jesus,
you following Farrakhan?
I may have a new pastor. Now, shout out to my bishop, Pastor Darrell. Bishop Darrell, I would never leave you, but it's scary, and that's why even as I'm moving up what people consider to be the ladder of success, I'm very careful of not allowing people around me. Just because I'm the pastor doesn't mean I'm always right. Just because I'm the I'm the CEO. You have to have people around you that you trust that can check you, that will preserve you. Because where there's no boundaries, there's no safety. And you see that Puffy had no boundaries, and that's why he's in the trouble that he's in right now.
But let's talk about from a regular perspective. Regular people that go to work every day, majority of the people have some level of fear of their boss.
Yeah.
So you only have to be in the room with Puffy. Your boss call you in the office, and your first thought is,
what did I do?
What did I do? Because they have power to change the trajectory of your life. And so I think just in basic everyday thought process, majority of us understand the power dynamic just by going to work.
Right.
We see people do unethical stuff at regular jobs. Yeah. We see folks do stuff that we know is wrong in regular spaces.
In church.
In church. Everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I think the reality is that a power dynamic of any sort has to be contained. There has to be limits. There has to be boundaries so that you manage well the relationships that are around you. And now here's the thing. When you have that much access to resources and tools and you choose not to use them, because before anybody else needs to check you, you know your own proclivities.
Absolutely.
You know your own proclivities. You know your own triggers. You know your own trauma. So before anybody around me has the responsibility to say, yo, you're wrong, I knew I was wrong. And I knew if I had the resources to do something about it.
Right.
You should have done. Diddy could have done something about his lack of control of his attitude and his inability to control himself physically. Because I can imagine if you beat her in public in a hallway that way, what you did when there's not any public eyes, no video cameras that you can pay off, had to be far worse. And we can't talk about the amount of cocaine that goes into surviving these high profile lifestyles. Partying all night, dancing all day, all of that stuff requires some type of steam to get you through. So I think the reality is that all of us have a power dynamic, because you don't really have to be nobody of nobody. You just be the head usher.
You absolutely right.
You be the head usher, and it could go real left. You could be, you could be head of the Girl Scout committee, head of the hang the hangers up. I'm responsible for them hangers. Don't touch them hangers until I tell you to.
Right.
All of us have a need for power. All of us can can misuse and abuse our power. And so I think we put a lot of hype into celebrities. Most of them, especially black ones, got there by accident. Very few black power people got there intentionally. So you made it into a world that you have no idea how to live in.
Well, I wouldn't say by accident, because that industry, success at that level is accessible to anyone that wants to play the game.
By accident.
It's not accident. It's very intentional, because when you get to a certain level, and it even happens in the church, sad to say, that there are gatekeepers in every industry. and they will come to you. There's been bishops and pastors that have come to me and said, yo, if you do XYZ, this is what I'll do. And I had to straight up tell him, like, yo, brother, if you ever approach me like that again, I'm going to punch you dead in your jaw.
So when I say by accident, we don't have reference to those lifestyles. So it's not who passed down generational wealth and information to Puffy? Nobody.
No
So
one.
when I say we get there by accident, not that we don't have plans or dreams and intentions, but for most of us, our parents weren't in the billionaire status club, and so we didn't navigate it because my grandma was there and I ain't really have to learn it. It's just like when we talk about abolish affirmative action, but we don't talk about abolishing legacy entrance into colleges and universities. So we talk about things, and so when I say we get there by accident, is that we don't have a reference to how to navigate. So I am sure that Diddy suffered some abuse climbing that ladder to the top by his white counterparts who said, if you want to play in this game, like you said,
Absolutely.
they're gatekeepers. You want to play this game, you got to play by my rules. You're going to have to do X, Y, and Z. And unfortunately, and we see this even in the Bible times, we become the very thing that abused us on the way up.
Yeah.
The moment we get to the place, we become that very thing if we're not very careful. And so I think we, as a black culture, probably need to talk about getting behind that wall and what does it really cost and what did you really pay on that rise up.
And that's why it's very dangerous when you look at someone and you want to be them, because you don't know what they did to get there, and you definitely don't know what they're doing to stay there.
That part.
Yeah, and
stay there.
And it's scary. I'm talking about in any, like I said, in any industry, you have to have a lot of guts to go after success, because you have two roads that you can take. This road is long. It's long, but at night you can go home with your manhood, with your womanhood, and you trust the God factor, or you can go this route and just get it quick overnight, but you actually do sell your soul to the devil in a way, because that road is full of abuse and destruction, and you go into spaces that you really don't know how to navigate, and you become groomed for a lifestyle that you never dreamed of. But because in the industry there's a motto that they have, give them what they want. And what that means is they know that, especially most kids from an urban neighborhood, never had money, never had a car, never had jewelry. They don't know anything about 360 deals. They don't know anything about a sunset clause in the contract, which every contract that anybody signs should always have a sunset clause. A sunset clause is what happens if you, the company, because most contracts have it, but it's in favor of the company. A sunset clause says if you do anything to breach this contract, you can get cut, and you are just out of the picture. But a sunset clause in favor of the artist says that if you do something to breach, that I have the right to make this contract invalid. And most artists, most people that are creatives, they just want that quick bag. But there is so much money. Because you got to think, if they're offering you $1 million and nobody knows who you are, how much money do you think they making on you?
Right.
That million ain't nothing. Right. And if it don't work, you just become a tax write-off. Right. That's it. And you are in the red, and you have to do all this kind of stuff. If you take pictures, if you do a clothing line, anything you do, they own you. When you sign these type of deals. And there's so many of our young black artists in the music industry that have signed these bad record deals. That's why almost every artist, if not every artist that was signed to Bad Boy, wanted to beat Puffy's behind, wanted to kill him. Even his man Biggie. Biggie was like, yo, Biggie was broke when he died.
That's what I heard.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I heard.
Because what happens is, most artists, even now, even in the gospel industry, if the artists that we all love, that we think are A artists, if they don't stay on the road, I'm telling you, they starving. They are starving. If they don't stay on the road and go to churches and do these shows and try to get on these tours, they are starving because most of them have signed their publishing away. They have 360 deals and don't know how to get out of it. But because they got a lump sum of money up front, they just jumped at it. And it's just horrible, man. Horrible what's happening out here. So you got to really educate yourself.
You have to educate yourself. And what you and my beads are saying is like so super powerful on both ends. I want to get to a couple of these comments. Mr. David Quinones, the exec, says the black and Hispanic man can't be blamed if he was being taken from the home since the 60s. He said that some time ago. Tracy Cox said, domestic violence is not just you hitting somebody. It's verbal and emotional abuse, manipulation abuse as well. And you know what? There was something that Norm had said. Norm said, I had a lawsuit against that dude, and he was scared of me. He called me beloved. He's so stupid. But then Norm said, then where is it? Norm had said, understand this, Diddy was groomed also by Clive's perversions and everything. Yeah. And then he said that Clive gave him $11 million to start Bad Boy for more than just business. That's a dangerous concept, or that's it sounds like he baited.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Him, and that baiting, Puffy probably saw that money.
Absolutely.
And then that money became it's almost like dealing with Nino Brown. You become this nasty spirit. And it starts to manifest, and then you Tony Montana, and you think you on top of the world, and nobody could touch you until they all come in blazing.
Yeah,
and that's typically how it happens. Elder Felder, good to see you. Kiss your wife for me. Hi, Mandy Robeson. So, what do you think is getting ready to happen? Not just in the industry, but just with everyday people that have faced abuse. Dealing with abuse? Are they going to start fighting back saying, I don't have to tolerate this, I'm going to speak up? Are we going to see anything change? T, you want to say something? Where's that mic?
I'm not really a Puffy fan or into all of knowing everything. I'm just a regular, everyday mom trying to help her two daughters, young adult daughters, navigate through life. I am a victim of domestic violence, but I decided to leave. That's an instant turn off for me.
How long did it take you to realize that it was time for you to leave? Because most people,
the hands came on.
The first time?
Yeah. See, like they were all saying, it's emotional, control, manipulation, all those things, till it finally led up to the hands. And I said, that is it. Kids are not. And I made a lot of sacrifices, and I did suffer. I know it's a cliche. Oh, you can't stay for the kids. Yes, you did. Yes, you can. Because it's not their fault. And I could not see them not making it through school and a lot of things because of adult stuff. So I stayed upstairs in my prayer room, and I cried, and I talked to God, and I said, I'm sorry, and Lord, fix this. And I made sacrifices to safeguard them and not let them go through a whole lot of generational things. Because I didn't have it easy growing up. You know the story, Tim. And I decided from everything that I've seen and everything that I've gone through, that's not going to happen with
but
me
you
and
hear
my
what
girls.
she said? She said, I decided.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to make this decision and choice. Minister Cassandra, what was you about to say?
So that goes back to what everybody was saying. It all starts with that verbal and emotional abuse because it's subtle. It doesn't come out roaring, like blazing at first. So by the time all that stuff happens, that word groomed had came up earlier. You're kind of groomed into it, and you don't see it until it's too late. And sometimes because you're taken to that cycle, you're so broken by it that you don't get out of it. And then next thing you know, unfortunately, there are some people who don't survive.
Yeah.
So that's how that cycle perpetuates. And on top of that, if you are somebody who is witnessing, a child who's witnessing this domestic violence in their home, now this is model for you. This is normal what happens between mom and dad. This is what's normal that's happening. So now they go back and they perpetuate that behavior going forward. So it takes, like she said, the decision, the conscious decision to say, you know what, I can't do this anymore. And it takes a lot of strength to come out of that, because now out of that brokenness, now here you are emerging from, so that you can go forward and do what you need to do to get out.
I have a question, and that was good with what you said too. I have a question for the Rev and the auntie. The Rev and the auntie Visa. Pudding, where's the pudding? Oh, we're going to pass that out. Oh, okay. Well, God bless you. Come bring me some pudding. We're going to pray for... I'm going to take mine and Thursday I'll eat it. Okay, well, bless the Lord. Then you'll be... I pray that God right now, in the name of Jesus, guard your eyes as I eat mine.
Cover.
And I eat it.
Cover her
and
eyes,
I eat
Lord.
well.
Sit here watching you. Not gonna make me die.
Somebody said, I believe couples should not even play fight.
You know what, Elder Felder?
That's a stretch.
Elder
That's a
Felder?
stretch.
I don't think so.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you.
don't think
I
you
can
should play
understand where you say that. I can understand that. Elder Felder, call up here, 646-233-1302. Only Elder Felder. Elder Felder. Norm, we got some for you, too. I want mine in a pink bag. Okay, thank you. I know you do. Elder Felder, call up here.
Oh, yes.
646, only Elder Felder. 646-233-1302. And talk about the define, if you would, what extent can play fighting go wrong, or should it not be, or should not? I want to ask Reverend Bianca and go ahead.
Now, I agree.
Is your mic on?
Yeah. So I tell my kid that all the time. Don't play fight because somebody's going to get hurt. So I agree with it, but I think in adult relationships, there's a lot more, well, there should be. Let me clarify. There should be emotional intelligence. I think your relationship dictates how you can play with each other. Now, we're not going to play fight you slapping me. Like, you might tap me running through the house and laugh, giggle, ha, ha, ha. You ain't going to slap me in my face because I'm going to slap you back. And then Reverend Elder Felder is right.
I'll slap you back. That's
But you know, Rev, there's some folk that's into stuff like
well,
that.
now there are people who
into that.
that is their fetish, and they are more than welcome to it. And that's why I said within adult context is you have to know who you are in relationship with. Like a little play, I would be mindful. If I have triggers, I would not play fight in relationship.
If you have triggers, but see, it's important to know.
I would not.
It's important to know the person that you're dealing with if they've dealt with abuse.
Now,
because what's going to trigger?
I'm in my soft girl era. I'm not play fight with nobody. Don't hit me. Don't. We're not gonna do it.
I don't mind a play fight.
Now wrestling is a one thing. A wrestle is a one thing, but a play fight.
But now wait, let's unpack
I don't mind
this.
a little play fighting.
Tiffany, what you mean,
adult,
woman of God? What
you have
mean?
a right in your relationship.
I'm just gonna eat this banana
like you like you like wrestling? Not wrestling.
Is a little different.
You like wrestling?
Oh, this banana pudding looks amazing.
Well, before you get to that, what is your question?
That's the all things banana pudding she's eating right now, guys.
Thank you for putting bananas in banana pudding.
Absolutely.
Can we clap for that?
Bless God.
That's why I can't lose weight. So, what I want
There's
to
people
ask
that
you,
do it. There's people that do it.
No, but that don't make sense.
No,
There's people that order it and they say don't put no bananas in it.
You know, there's people that really do make banana pudding without bananas in it. What? They will either use banana pudding itself.
Stop.
Right.
Yeah.
And they'll add like vanilla extract to the banana pudding and throw either, what is it, the
Chessmen.
Yeah, them. Or the Nilla wafers on top and not one banana in it.
Yeah.
So I have a confession. I don't like Nilla wafers. And I won't tell y'all why, because it really is at this grown age.
Is it a trigger? Trauma?
No, I just. So I grew up with cookies with cream in them.
Come on.
So like Oreos,
Come on.
Vienna fingers. And so I always thought Nilla wafers was for.
Really?
What?
Wait, she said that she thought it was horrible?
She thought it was for poor people.
Because we never had cookies that came in a box like that.
But you know what,
So
Rev?
if you, it's like if you're not the cream of the crop, you ain't got the cream in
Hold
the
on,
cookie that you.
hold
I
on,
also
Tiffany.
felt like that about Neapolitan ice cream.
Tag me in, Tiffany. Because God wants to do something for Rev. See, you grew up, Rev, thinking that, watch this. You grew up thinking like that about cookies, but tonight God wants to free you. Now, if you don't want this, you ain't going to get it. But if you want to be free, lift your hand.
On Thursday, I'm going to take the Nilla wafers out. And I'm going to eat the
See, that's what's wrong with folk. Deliverance is here, and she talking about Thursday. God is a right now God. He wants to free you tonight.
And some things the Lord will just let you live with the thorn.
No. You ain't got to go home with no thorn tonight. You don't got to. If you go home thorny, it's because you want to be thorny.
If you go home thorny,
not because you want to be.
I still eat cookies with cream in them in the pack.
Oh Lord, this is, bro.
Did I do all right?
Now, what is your question while you eating?
My question to you, and then to you, I know you see this, and you feel the weight. He
8
wasn't
ounces,
stingy at
8
all.
ounces of pleasurable.
I promise you, I felt
delectable
God in
delights.
the first scoop.
My
Oh yeah,
Savior.
oh
yes.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because this pudding done sent me to the third heaven.
We usually are more structured than this, Rev, but tonight.
But
on tonight, we're just letting the Lord have his way.
Oh yeah. So the question for you, and this question for you, 2 different questions because 2 different experiences. You witnessed domestic violence. You physically experienced domestic violence. What impact has what you've seen affect on you now, and what impact on what you've experienced? What impact does it have on you now when it comes to relationships? Oh, she letting you go first.
Mine is short and sweet. Well, it certainly taught me what I don't want.
That's powerful.
Yeah. I see it. I can run. And my daughters can run. They had to see me be strong. They had to see me make that decision. They had to see me rise up. I owe it to them. I felt like that. I'm just one of those. Selfless. Like, I want to see them make it. I really
want
do.
to see your girls.
I do really do. To me, I was like, okay, I love the Lord and all that, and people and all, but there's nothing more important to me than for them to make it and get where they need to be, and do better than me, and have more than me, and just do it, and take all that I didn't do and run with that too. Like, Lord, leave the gifts in the family, please. Just pass it down to my daughters, and hopefully they'll obey you where I didn't. But don't let us lose it. Just pass it down.
It's powerful.
That is very powerful. Did your daughters see it?
Oh, yeah.
So they saw it.
Well, I was able... Oh, sorry. It's funny how it struck out. Because you can not know somebody and not know what they're capable of until it happens. So, believe it or not, we was at the church in the parking lot. And so I was able to keep them from it.
Wow.
When I saw them coming out, I saw a sister walking behind them, and I told them, put them back inside. Bring them back. And I just dealt with it where it was, because it just like happened. And so I had to go to Betty Burge and the whole nine, but I knew that it was over. Like, I was planning my escape anyway, but that was the decision. That was it. Because some women, and I have had friends that have stayed and try to make it, but he'll change, like you were saying. That's an instant turn off for me. Instant. There's nothing I want to stay for. I don't care if you want to change. I don't believe you can change what. Look, if you believe you can change, go ahead, but you won't be changing with your hands on me.
So let me preface this. My mother was a prison guard for 30 years. So my mother just didn't take getting hit now. So I didn't see, So we laugh about the story now. My parents are still, they're friends. One of the things my mother has never done, no matter what the relationship was with my sister's father or my father, our father, she has never made us suffer. So we have never been kept away from my father. She's never any of that stuff. In fact, she took care of my father while I was in seminary for me to help me out. So for me, though, it took some undoing and some seeing relationships that were not volatile. Witnessing, and I really thank God that I've always been put in places where I was able to witness the complete opposite. So I was able to witness love in a practical way, genuine love, genuine mutual respect for a spouse. And so I've been able to counter. Well, one, you grow up and you think it's normal. I grew up in the projects, and so it wasn't, you seen fights. Seen fights. I grew up in the projects. The TV story, so I'll tell you what happened. We lived in these little buildings called, we lived in these little buildings. And my father had come to the apartment, and my mother was working at night. She was working 3 to 11 at that time. And he had said to her, he got mad with her and said, "Give me my TV." And my mother said, "You want this TV?" "Yeah, I want my TV." And my mother didn't say it that calmly, though. She had a lot of explicits in between. And he was, "I want my TV, I want my TV." So she snatched the TV out the wall and threw it at him and said, "He would take your TV." Well, he wasn't prepared for getting the TV that way. So when she flew it at him, he flew out the door, and we had a real little, it was a stairwell. It was a real little window. He wasn't going to die because he couldn't get through the window. But he had flew into the window because he asked for the TV, so she gave it to him. He just didn't think she was going to throw it at him. But we laugh at it now. My father can laugh at it. My mother laughs at it because she said she didn't think I would remember it. But it has taught me, I've had to undo some things as an adult. I've had to learn how to not be so masculine because my mother has always been a fighter, I've been told, from even as a child, and a good fighter. Like, my mother was going to come out on top. It's just, you fight her, you going to lose. That's what my aunt told me. 3, 4, 5, she coming out on top. My mother worked in the gang unit as a correction officer. She retired when she felt like it, so you can imagine. And so I've had to learn to not be as hard. Y'all don't send this broadcast to her. She's a sweet person on the inside. She'll give you the shirt off her back. Now, she's a giving person, but you cross her and you might. But she has a really unique way about herself. No matter what her relationship is with somebody, she does not perpetuate that on to anybody else. So even if her and her girlfriend weren't talking, I still could go to Aunt so-and-so's house. My mother has always been the type that adult issues don't affect children. And she stood by that. This always Aunt so-and-so. You don't have to, you don't have to choose. And so I've learned through seeing good relationships, how to be in relationships. I have not always been successful, but we will not talk about that. But I've had to learn even the effect it had on me. And part of the effect it had on me is I had to learn to value myself. Because somewhere along the line, watching that caused me to devalue who I was.
Really?
And so publicly, you would never see that, but privately, I operate in self-sabotage. I'll get this successful, and I'll find a way to sabotage it because watching, there was all volatile relationships. You get here, and then something happens. So I've had to be intentional. And honestly speaking, this has all happened in the last maybe 3 weeks, where I've had to be intentional to deconstruct that self-sabotage connected to lack of value. Because to me, that relationship created a lack of value in me. Why can't my parents get along? Why? Now, let me preface this way. My father's family has always taken care of me. I never wanted for anything. My father didn't. But my father's parents made sure I was living in the projects with a leather shingle coat on, okay? I was all triple fat goose with the fur. I had a Easter coat of fur. I was never without. So let me be, I was never without because my father's family always took care of me. Wow. And then I had a godmother who took care of me. So I was never, I didn't live, so value in terms of things, I never had a shortage. And my mama always gonna make sure we was dressed. My mama dressed to this day. She gets up every day. She gets dressed to go nowhere. She gets dressed to go sit downstairs on her couch.
I
fully dressed, matching shoes and everything. She ain't going nowhere.
I believe it.
So I didn't suffer from like that, but inherently somewhere I connected the break in their relationship.
Oh, that might be Elder.
Well, that's
Elder.
Grace and peace. God bless you. How you doing?
Elder Felder.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for calling in.
God bless you. How you doing tonight?
God bless you immensely. I am fantastic-rific. Thank you so much. I am fantastic-rific. Elder Felder is the one who had said that there is no, you said there's no play fighting, right?
What I said was there shouldn't be, couples shouldn't play fight. And for a couple of reasons. Number one, if you're not careful, you can go past the person's boundaries. Number two, if you're not careful, you can really hurt the person, play fighting, and then that can lead to, if you are an abuser, you can start play fighting to see how far you can take the abuse that you want to do on the person. And it becomes, well, now it's play fighting. But then if the person gets you upset and gets you mad, male or female, the play fighting can start to get a little rougher. It can start to get a little, boundaries can be crossed. And all of a sudden you find yourself in a really bad situation just from starting to play fight. Me and my wife don't play fight. I don't put my hands up to her. I mean, no man should to a woman anyway. We don't play fight. Of course, we don't put each other with respect, with honor. You know, she loved me, I love her, and all that. And it's total respect for boundaries. You have to understand that your mate has boundaries and you have boundaries. If you're not careful and you cross those boundaries, that can be an issue.
It can be an issue if you cross those boundaries. And that's exactly what Minister Cassandra and Reverend Bianca were saying. And I never looked at it like that. I never looked at it like that. I can be a little on the playful, and then I could square up, and and then I'll say okay, and then but I know that. But see, it's also you got to know who you can only do that with certain people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Someone that like if I play and I'm squaring up or whatever, and I just tap a shoulder, and nothing like something light. But like you said, not everybody can do that, and you don't think that it should be done, because again, something you said that I never thought of was that if you're dealing with an abuser, they're doing it to see how far they can take it. That never even crossed my mind.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Cassandra just said that they would use the quote unquote, and this is how she did it, just playing aspect. And then that's where the bruises come into play. I was
Yes,
just
ma'am.
playing. I never thought about that. That's real good right there, Elder. That's real good right there. That's real good. Y'all
Thank
got
you so
something
much.
to say? Oh, they didn't have nothing to say because you pretty much said it. Thank you, Elder.
Well, can I just comment on the P. Diddy thing real quick?
Of course.
Unfortunately, video and tape don't lie. It does not lie. Does not matter what apology he does, apology his lawyer does, no matter, even if they settled, which they did, tape don't lie. Of course, what he did was disgusting. What he did was totally out of control. But he has a serious issue. What that issue is, I don't know. But of course, he needs help, whether it be talking to somebody, of course, prayer. But there's an issue there that has to be dealt with. Anybody who abuses a woman or a woman abuses a man has to deal with, get some help. And of course, have God in their life. But
Absolutely.
video and tape don't lie.
They don't lie. And he settled, what, was it in 24 hours? He settled within 24 hours, didn't he? He settled, I want to say he settled real quick. And I'm sure he didn't expect this video to come out because allegedly he paid the hotel $50,000 to not release it. Now, if I was her, I'd go back and sue the hotel.
But I don't understand.
Elder, I sure would.
I didn't understand why he still kept the tapes though. Like that was crazy.
But you know why? Can I make a statement? I like what you just asked. Elder, Pastor Jason just said, I don't know why he even kept the tapes. Do you guys ever notice? Right. Do you guys ever notice that with when it comes to the killers, what they do is always go back to the place that they have? It's like a thrill for them. It's like an adrenaline for them of, as bad as it may be, like they were able to conquer and overpower something or someone. Killers always retrace their steps and go back to the scene of where they've either done the killing. If they do record it, they keep, and I'm not trying to be graphic, and even rapists, they keep different things of the people that they've attacked, the bra, the sock, the panties. They keep these as memorabiliums. It's a sick, demented, demonic mindset. And I think it's for them. I hate to use this word, but for them it's a trophy. It's a trophy.
Most likely, if you spoke to the young lady, I think her name is Cassie, she'll probably tell you, it started out with us just playing. He tapped at me, then the tap got harder, then it became a punch or a slap, then the slap became a punch, and then the punch became what you saw on the tape. So it didn't just start there. This was going on for a long time, but unfortunately it was in the dark until the tape came out. I guarantee you, if you ask her, he was just play fighting with me, and all of a sudden it got serious. It got more serious, and unfortunately, because she was, living under his roof and doing whatever, she could do to survive as far as an artist, she was kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Manipulation, unfortunately. Yeah.
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 That's good. Manipulation.
There's a lot of people in this comment section talking about they like to play fight.
Yeah.
We need to pray, Rev.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a spirit
Yeah.
on the people of God.
Yeah.
There's a spirit.
When that thing start getting real,
You need to pray for me.
they're going to be like, yo, you know, the elders were on point because my boyfriend or my husband is getting crazy now. He's getting ridiculous with this
Now, Rev.
situation.
Now, Rev.
Elder?
In the confines of marriage,
Look. Oh.
play fighting can lead to a blessing.
Oh, I felt God in that.
Oh,
yes. Talk about it, Pastor. Talk about it, Pastor.
it can take you to a place where the land is
Bro,
flowing
that's
with milk
X-rated right
and
there. We
honey.
gotta after dark, Doc.
Talk about it.
That's all I'm gonna say.
After midnight with married couples, man. We can't do that now, man.
Yeah, but that's why I said in the confines of marriage.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
yes,
I totally understand. I totally
Yes, sir.
understand where you're going.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It can be a beautiful thing.
It can be a blessing.
So, are you suggesting that people who are not married should not play fight and get to the land of milk and honey?
Yeah, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it.
Doc, you're trying to get me in trouble, man.
Well, Reverend Bianca.
Oh, so wait, Rev. No, Rev.
Look, no. Reverend said she's not about to go into it, but she asked the question.
I'm asking because he brought it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I'll tell you this much. Lord, help me hurry up and get married in the name of Jesus. So I could just see how this play fighting thing really
You want to go to
goes.
Canaan? You want to go to Canaan, Tiffany?
At the
My
rate we're going, you might have to
God.
be a sister wife. The numbers don't
Elder, you
lie.
better pray for the saints today. You hear me?
But you know that
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
You better pray for the saints, Elder.
that's something that we probably need to do a show dedicated to that because the numbers don't lie.
Being a sister wife?
Yeah.
I can sign up for it.
Wait a minute. Wait, Elder, you might need to break out the oil. So can I ask a question?
Ask her to define what a sister
That's what
wife
I'm getting ready
is.
to do.
Yes.
Because maybe I'm just misunderstanding. Can you define what a sister wife is? Is that like a midwife?
No, it is.
She said it, not me.
It is multiple women married to the same man.
Polygamy. That's what she's talking about. Polygamy. But you know what? It's
I'm
only-
selfish. I
it's
can't
only-
do
in
it.
the Bible.
Yes, and you see your reaction.
But we ain't
Tim?
doing that.
No.
Don't kill me with what part of the Bible is relevant and what part y'all don't need
See,
no more.
Because I'm going to say this, I would never teach this per se in a setting of church, but you have to be realistic because when you look at the history of human beings, monogamy was never a thing. Yeah, monogamy. And
I ain't doing it.
And here's why. Here's why.
Kels, I get it. Kel said sharing. No way.
No. Let me tell you something. And see, y'all I'm gonna get in trouble, Rev. I'll go there. But see, if you are dating an alpha male that has had premarital sex, I guarantee you, unless that man is extremely disciplined, you're sharing him anyway. You just don't know it.
Oh, I found that out the hard way.
Yeah. So
you recommend dating a beta male if you don't
no.
wanna share?
Yeah, I mean, you're probably better off doing that because
That's not better.
No, beta men don't have the same options that alphas do.
What's a beta man?
A beta man is someone that's a little bit more docile, a little bit more softer. It's
So
not,
instead
it's
of
not
calling them
as
beta, why can't
popular.
they just be called a beta?
No, it's not better.
Greek alphabet.
Yeah.
Beta, gamma, delta.
Yeah. That's what it's
It's
from.
just Greek
Yeah.
alphabet.
Oh, well, y'all
But
helping
the
me
alpha
today.
men, even in the animal world, the alpha men or the alpha species, they're not locked into one female. They go around them, and that is, if you go in the scriptures, that is the characteristics of most men throughout the Word of God. And back then it was, to denote how wealthy you were, how many women you can have to take care of. But that is the nature. And it wasn't until man changed the law that you had to have one wife.
This would be the time for Tim Clinton to jump on.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, but that's why God never intended for us to have sex outside of marriage. Because once you have sex outside of marriage, you now develop a level of appetite that God only intended for you to experience in covenant. Mm-hmm. That's why he instructed us not to have premarital sex. But once you have had that, it is a disciplined decision and a very difficult one to be monogamous. It is no longer natural when you've had multiple sexual partners.
Norm says men with legal... Oh, before we get to that, Tim Clinton said that your Celtics lost. So anyway...
That's okay.
I said to Tim, I can't wait to tell you.
That's all right.
Norm
it's one
said
game. One game.
Men with legal multiple wives have a lower divorce rate. Norm, don't do this, Norm. Where is Sandy? Where?
So, as somebody who grew up in an Islamic situation, I grew. My mother was Muslim. My sister's father was Muslim. My mother was married. She was the first wife. I grew up in spaces where having multiple wives is a norm. I will say this. It is a discipline to that as well. And it is not just you collect wives for sexual freedom and fantasy. You have to be able to take care of those
each
households.
wife?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to be financially able to take care of that household. So it's not like you just collecting women for your own sexual
That's what I
gratification.
thought it would have been.
No, you have to be able to take care of those wives individually. If they don't want to live together, you got to be pay the mortgages on all those houses or the rent in those apartments because everybody don't want to live in the house. However you want to do it. So I think it's a conversation that because in our Western world we have been taught one man, one woman, even though majority of people have not been. Ashley Madison is proof that one man, one woman, with I think they had 13 billion people when it finally fell apart. One man, one woman is not everybody's capability.
Right.
I'll say that. Your theological perspective, monogamy is right from my theological perspective, my public theological perspective. Monogamy
Public
is
one.
all
Public.
right.
Public.
But I do think that sometimes a wider conversation needs to be had about the possibilities of being a sister wife for some people. And I think probably talking to people who actually live it is a far better understanding than a bunch of people who have not talked about, who don't live it, to figure out how to do it. But with the numbers right now, either you're going to be sister wives or brother husbands. I don't know what to say.
Not brother husbands is crazy. That is crazy. Brother husbands. And we did not lose. It's tied. 117. Go ahead, Pastor.
Hold it.
Tim, you a false prophet, Tim. You a false prophet, Tim.
I do think, though, I wonder, though. But I mean, in the confines of marriage, you can play fight and get to the land of milk and honey.
Yeah, I can't. You know what?
Look, why can't you share?
Look, somebody said that Sis's inbox is about to be full.
Don't
Y'all
do it.
stay out of Pastor's inbox.
I do not respond to my DMs. I did it one time.
Y'all
Never.
stay out of pastors. Y'all stay out of pastors' inbox.
I am nobody's pastor.
Elder Felder, I cannot.
So, Tiffany, why can't you share? What is your fear?
Ain't no fear.
Oh, it is a fear.
Oh, no, there ain't no fear.
What's not? Well, so you involuntarily have shared. So what would be the difference if you voluntarily shared?
I've involuntarily, and I can't even get it out.
Involuntarily.
Because just thinking about it.
To the pastor's point, most people have involuntarily.
Most people have. I've either been the one or like in a dating, but if I'm not, if I'm exclusive with somebody and we make it plain that we're exclusive, ain't no room for nobody else. No. It is me. I
work 8 to 10 hours a day.
That's okay. There's 8 to 10 hours of time to make up for all of that. At the end of the day, yes, there is. At the end of the day, as long as they match me, they ain't gonna have no problem. Now, the thing is, Pastor, close your ears. Elder, pray. Start praying, Elder, because I think she's trying to test my gangster. But
I don't have no dog in this fight.
But at the end, I can't do it. My mind and my heart, because I don't know how to. I have a strong, loyal love. And when I love a person, I'm all in that person when we're together. Now, let me just make this clear. If we're no longer together, I can still love you, but I'll now have options to explore. That's something different. Now, if I have an option to explore and I'm not in an exclusive relationship, I have that right. I have that right to say, oh, I'm seeing this one, I'm seeing that one, and I don't have to be doing nothing with them. They could just be great companions to just go out with, have a good time, eat. We go out, dance, let's go to the city. I don't mind all of that. I don't have to do anything with them. Okay? At the end of the day, and then I'll have a choice, or maybe they'll have a choice. I might not be their only one. Okay, cool. We're not exclusive.
So what does the exclusivity do for you? That it doesn't matter if you're not exclusive, we can be with he, thee, she, and everywhere. But if we're exclusive, what does the word exclusive?
Exclusive for me is it's only me. It ain't nobody else, because you don't need nobody else.
That's not realistic.
Nuh-uh.
I'm being honest with you because let me tell you why. Because even if I'm not doing anything,
Norm, you might need to get on this mic.
Even if they're not doing anything with you physically, it's still, there's a lot of emotional connections that happen when you go out with people. When you go out, because you said, how can you not get attached to someone that you have companionship with?
Okay, but see, here's the thing. Again, there's boundaries. You know how far to go in regard to the companionship.
But you're already opening yourself.
I could open myself up. I've done that before. When I was like 17, I was something, yo. When I was 17, I was something. Look, she said my inbox about to be full. It better not, because I'm not. Being single, I can say, let's go out for coffee. If you want to take me out to eat. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I've had that. I've had dudes in my inbox that want to take me out. I don't up and jump. I'll say, thank you so much for being so kind. I'm going to have to pass. I'm not one of those nasty turn them down, like, get out my inbox. I don't do all of that because I don't like hurting people's feelings. So I'm just like, no, but thank you so much for considering me. I appreciate it. That's super kind. But no, I'm going to pass. But if there's a potential,
why
I might
you passing them?
Because more than likely, I'm just going to be honest, there's a very good chance that I'm not attracted to them.
So you could have probably been married.
Oh,
but you passed them in their coffee.
Let me tell you something.
For the involuntary.
I probably could have been married.
See that?
And the funny thing is, it's funny you said that, because I probably could have been married. I just said this to her last week. There's one person, 2 people, matter of fact.
The number is going up.
Just go ahead and say 3 to complete the Trinity. Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Come on.
That I know for a fact that I probably could have married. But the reason why I didn't, and this is the truth, the reason why I didn't is because I don't like breaking hearts. And I was not over somebody that I was off and on with. And I thought that we were going to get back together. I thought that, in my mind, I still thought me and this person were going to be married.
So wait a minute, Tiff. Are you?
Thank you. I thought I was being nice. Thank you for allowing me for saying that I was magnanimous. Because at the end of the day, I don't like hurting people's feelings.
I'm glad Norman's here.
Oh!
Because off of what Tiffany just said, Norm, I think Tiffany needs a new theme song. And when she comes on, we have to start playing Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boys. She'll chew you up.
I'm gonna add that next week.
You a man eater, Tiffany.
Wait, no.
You a man
Speaking of
eater.
theme song, did you know what I told him, what I sent him over the weekend and said we need to add this on the button?
No, which one?
Which one did we say last week? What were we talking about?
Oh, Cheers, the theme song. No!
I love that song. So let's ask the other people. Cassandra, could you be a sister wife?
Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah.
Now, not barring your religious beliefs, your theological convictions, because she is
Polygamous
an educated reverend.
So glad that
Barring that, Jesus Christ, why is this camera like this? Barring God Almighty.
Right on. She's like, why is it right on me? As it should be.
Barring that, if you did not have the religious context that you did, do you think that you could do it?
Honestly, I don't think I could. Okay. But that's because of how I feel about. I am a very strong component on monogamy, and I don't know, even from my perspective in a mental sense, because that means if you want to get technical about the physical aspect of what happens between the man and the woman, now you got your flowing. To me, that starts to get a little.
Did it for a month?
Yeah.
How
so
hard
I'm just
was
like,
that?
just
Was
from
hard, wasn't it?
a practical perspective, for me, that is like something that would be a deterrent.
Okay.
I'm totally with you
Don't
on
forget,
that. I'm pudding.
Pudding over here. No.
Yeah.
Why? What's your why?
Same agreement with Tiffany and her. Like, my heart and my loyalty is just too big. I'm not.
So
and then on top of
2
it,
minutes. I got 2 minutes to wrap it up.
And then on top of it, knowing what you can handle and what you cannot handle.
Mm-hmm.
I choose not to have to be a sister wife because I don't want to say selfish, but you know, you just want your person to yourself.
She's on. Oh, there you go.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
You know, not I wouldn't say selfish, but you just want, you know, who you're with to yourself at times.
To
you
yourself.
don't wanna, you know, but again, I agree with Tiffany. My heart and my loyalty is just too big.
Navigate that way. I'm just keeping it real.
It's a lot easier to navigate which way.
I'm just saying because
I hit 3.
We got one more.
We got one more vote.
What's your vote?
Teresa, can you do it? No. After what she just said. Teresa says she can't do it.
No.
I don't care who made
No.
this up. Where's this mic?
Like I said, I did it for a month.
What was your Muslim name?
My mic off right now.
Which one is it?
You're going to turn off his mic.
It was Quadir?
It was Quadir.
Wow.
Right. So
I'm mad you asked what was his Muslim name and he named it.
I tried it for a month. You lose focus. Like, you lose focus, and it's like you can't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like directing my attention towards one person and, you know, having that received back. But it's like they got jealous.
That would be me. I'm not going to lie.
You
Norm,
spend more time with her than you are with me, and it became that craziness.
that would be me.
Ask that question.
I'm going to be honest.
Nobody asked me my Muslim name.
What's your Muslim name? What's your Muslim name?
If I was, it would have been Muhammad Shalik.
So I have a question.
I
Do the
couldn't.
women, do the sister wives become jealous within? Is it possible? I mean, I know it's possible because as women, we are emotional creatures.
Right.
So, do the women, like he said, you over there at so-and-so house, but you're not over here? Like, you know, has that happened in your experience?
You didn't take me.
Ooh, that would be
So
me.
I
In
think
the experience of, you know, her.
Right.
it depends
It's
on the husband.
too much
It
time
depends
divided.
on the agreement of the marriage. From the ones that I know very well, it doesn't bother them. And I know some that are third and fourth wives, so it's not like just 1 and 2, they're third and fourth
That's
wives.
on a lower scale.
It's not on a lower scale like that. The first wife is the
Main?
not the main wife, but she is the head, and it's the husband's responsibility to manage his wives. So if one is feeling left out or feeling uncared for or feeling like you're not giving me the attention, it's his responsibility to make sure that he meets her needs. That's why it's not just as simple as taking a bunch of wives, because you're responsible for managing and making sure that they're happy and satisfied. There are some who do get jealous over time, especially in marriages where children are of great importance.
Right.
And that is how it goes. Now, there are some people who know exactly what they want. And so when you go into it, you kind of have this agreement and you kind of know what it's going to be like. But then you do get, some people say, you know what, this ain't for me. This I thought I could do it. It's not for me. I think for others, I think also how you are reared makes a difference. So if you are reared in a household where this is normal, I have multiple ummis, this is my lifestyle. You're
able to take it.
You've learned that this is our beliefs, this is our culture, and it doesn't shake you anyway.
Right.
You grow up just like we.
It's a norm.
Just like
Like,
we.
oh,
It's a norm.
It's a norm.
But just like we
norm.
program girls to grow up, get married, be a family, they're raised to grow up, be part of a marriage where you may not be the first wife, you may be the second, and so it's a norm for them.
It's modeled.
It's modeled, and sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't go well.
But one thing I learned, you never open up Pandora's box. I'm telling you, once you open that box up,
that's it.
Norm, we need to get off the air so we can hear this story. Because it only took you 30 days.
30 days.
I can't.
All right, y'all. So you already know what time it is, and it is time for what?
To go. To get
Y'all
some.
married, y'all go to the Milk and Honey land where they go play fighting.
The Canaan.
All I did was hit the button. Is this because that's down? I didn't touch that. That was you. You did it.
My God.
Nope, we not off the air yet, but we getting ready to get off. Oh. Wait a minute, y'all. Robin said she cannot do it. Tasha said she cannot do it. Kel said, Denise Sparrow said, nah, I do not desire that kind of arrangement. I desire monogamy. Where's Kels? Kels had said, and you want them when you want them. I wouldn't want to have to wait till Friday to be with my maid.
It's not how it goes. Yeah.
Can we do a part 2? When I'm pretty much getting you like up here every week.
Let's go.
Can we do a part 2? Are you available next week? Okay, you are. Thanks. Okay, Auntie Lisa, are you available next week? Oh yeah, because I was kind of late. What time does Bible study start? Okay, you should be out by then. Because I start at 8:30 and you only around the corner. So, are you available next week? Okay. Puddin', you coming? Yeah. Yeah, now that you said that, I almost put it on the spot, but I know that I will stay later, and you ain't gonna have my boss chop my head off tonight. Yeah, I ain't gonna blame you for it. Yeah, we are. Okay, so.
Can I just make an announcement?
You can make an announcement.
The Celtics, 127, 123, Tim Clinton, you false prophet.
So what you saying is y'all won?
It's 34 seconds left. It's over.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Norm.
He was becoming the invisible man.
Yeah, I had to do it.
You were representing the Celtics. Yeah, so y'all, I know, we can do that. Okay, y'all, so I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Thank you for rocking out with your girl. Oh, yeah, but not the same bad time. We'll be earlier and on time, at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, just in case you're out of state, because we do have somebody that watches that's from the Philippines. Big shout out to my girl, Pearl. And so, with Kels, you should be in here next week. So, next Tuesday, 8:30 p.m., we're going to be right here on the Make Me Matter radio show, and we're going to have Quadir and Muhammad
Muhammad Shalik. Assalamu alaikum. Malaikum
Thank you so
salam.
much, Elder Felder, for calling in. I look forward. Thank you, Tasha, for joining in. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. And you guys are not going to get me fired tonight.
Before you go to bed, play fight.